But big picture wise, as a season, I think the number one storyline is what a great year for the U.S. men's middle distance and distance runners. Like insane indoor season. Like who are America's two best runners at the 2024 Olympics distance wise? It was Grant Fisher, who got 2 medals, and Cole Hocker, who got a gold medal. And what did they do indoors? They had an amazing year. Grant Fisher set 2 world records.
Yep.
Cole Hocker would have had a world record if it wasn't for Grant Fisher. Improved his strength with that kick. That's insane. And then you've got Josh Hoey. Like, we're disappointed he only won world indoor gold by 0.02. The guy set American records at 800 and 1,000. Beat Grant Fisher in the 1,500. Ran the second fastest time in history. Had one of the greatest indoor seasons we've ever seen by any human being. He wins indoor gold. And then we also have a whole bunch of guys.
Well, wait, by any human being? He didn't break a world record, Robert. I mean,
he had one of the greatest indoor seasons of any human being. I mean, what else is there to say?
What else is there to say? I'd like to see a world record if you're going to call it one of the greatest seasons ever. He ran, I would say, by any American, yeah. But if you're going to say, like, if you're not going to offer any qualifiers, like any human being, any event, no, I'd like to see a world record. He had an amazing season, American. One of the best ever by an American middle distance runner. I'll say that.
By an Amazungo. Thank you. But, and also the future is bright. On November 1st, hell, on December 1st, was anyone talking like really excitedly, other than maybe their coaches and parents? I guess some college kids that are really on the know, but about Gary Martin, Ethan Strand, Abel Tefra. These are all guys now we see could possibly medal in the future. And then even if you look at the pros, what a quick turnaround for, I mean, 2 months ago, Luke Hauser was running like 403 in the mile, 803 or 406. I mean, just trash. You're like, wow, this guy really is blowing it. Like, he had a Brooks contract, lost that. Now he's with Atlantic Track Club. He's running terrible. Now he's in the past 2 months, he's got a medal. Nia Akins, she left Brooks. Looked like she was floundering. Philadelphia. Couldn't break 2. She didn't get a medal, but my God, she dominated. She ran great at USA's, and it looked like she was going to probably win World Indoors or get a silver medal there.
For people who don't know, she fell in her prelim in an 800, got up, and came within what, like 0.2 of making the final?
Yeah, one of the most incredible things I've ever seen is the semifinal. All right, Robert, yeah, you hit a lot of things there, so I want to take them one at a time. First of all, America's best get better. And I think you're right. Hocker and Fisher, Grant Fisher has run faster now this indoor season than in the 3K and 5K than any time in his entire life before this. And I think maybe you could say he was in similar shape in Paris, but he wasn't running those times. Cole Hocker is stronger. This is the best winter he's ever had. And he's now run PBs in the 3K and in the 5K. Yared Nuguse broke the mile world record. It's kind of crazy we didn't even mention him earlier. He broke the world record. He only held it for 5 days, but that was obviously impressive. And then Hobbs Kessler also runs 3:46 in the mile. So he's faster than every American not named Yared Nuguse. And he wins double U.S. titles indoors. So all of those guys were already studs last year. All of them finished in the top 5 of the Olympics. And now they're even better. Thank you, Grant Fisher and Cole Hocker, for racing each other in the 3K at Millrose. That was the race of the year so far. And it's rare to see that sort of crossover event where you've got America's best at one distance taking on America's best at another distance in, them meeting in the middle. I do remember back in 2016, we had the Centro versus Clayton Murphy 1K in the Houston American Track League meet right after both of them had won the Olympic trials and before they medaled at the Olympics. That was good, but this sort of race doesn't come around that often, and it couldn't have been more exciting. Both breaking the old world record and Grant Fisher outkicking Cole Hocker. I mean, this is insane. Grant Fisher outkicked the Olympic champion in the 1,500 meters. So that was so good, and I'm so glad they both went for it. And it almost I don't want to give them the out and say it almost makes up for them skipping World Indoors, but that race was amazing. Like, that was so good. I'm just so glad it happened.
Not only that, how about you're going gaga over Fisher out kicking Hocker? How about Hocker taking the lead on Fisher in the middle of a distance race? There's no need to do that. And then we're not even talking. It was an unreal indoor season for the American men, the cream of the crop, and even the young collegians. We haven't even talked about some other people because, I mean, when 5 Americans break 13 flat indoors, like Nico Young, we have a 22-year-old American who ran 350 in the indoor mile in 12:51, doesn't even get a mention on the podcast. Graham Blanks, still a Harvard student, run 7:29, 12:59.
Yeah, that would be the American record if he was still in college. Sorry, not the American record, the collegiate record. Yeah, and I think that's great news for American distance fans, but you got to feel for these college kids because, we've said one of them may be able to break through and make a team even as soon as this year if you get an off race by one of these big studs. But they'll be thinking, all right, I've had a huge breakthrough season. I've definitely made up some ground on the big dogs, those top guys. And actually, no. The top guys, the bar was set at like Olympic medal, and now they've gotten even better. They've set that bar even higher. So, yeah, I was asking Luke Hauser. He's another guy who had a very good end to his season, gets the bronze medal at World Indoors. And I was like, how do you think about this moving forward? And he's like, well, this is good, but basically to get on that team, you need to be capable of medaling at World Outdoors. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I don't think Luke's at that level yet. Maybe he will be outdoors, but this is a guy who still hasn't made a U.S. final in the 1,500. He's traditionally been better indoors than outdoors, and we'll see if that changes now as a pro. But, he was 10th and 12th, I think, in the last 2 NCAA outdoor finals after winning the mile in NCAA indoors the next 2 years. So we'll see how he translates that. But, yeah, the very best guys have made it even harder to make that team moving forward in outdoors. I'm also thinking like the 5K, right? Someone like Sam Gilman, another winner of the indoor season, gets third at USA Indoors, gets on the team because Hobbs Kessler gives up his spot in the 3K, then goes out. He's in position to medal. He's right, he's not that far behind Ingebrigtsen and Aregawi with 100 to go at World Indoors, gets outrun by Kai Robinson in the last 100, but he gets fourth. Just an outstanding run. And I'm like, wow, he's in position. He's going to have a really good chance outdoors. But I'm like, all right, I don't think he's beating Grant Fisher at USA's in the 5K. And then if you're not beating him, the guys you have to beat, it's like Abdelhamid Noor and Cole Hocker, who's moving up to the 5K now, and Parker Wolf and Graham Blanks, who were 3rd and 4th at the trials last year, and Dylan Jacobs, who was 5th at World Indoors, and Coubertier, who's a 12:54 guy, and maybe Nico Young. I mean, Nico might just do the 10K, but Nico's a 12:51 guy. So I'm thinking like, okay, it's good news for Sam Gilman, but it's just going to be absolutely brutal to get on a team still.
Can we take a moment just to appreciate Sam Gilman?